If someone hears about Toastmasters, what should come to their mind?
Well, one thing that might come to their mind is these people are about toasting. Yes, there's some bit of toasting because the way Toastmasters started was through giving toasts on social functions like a wedding, where they invite you and say, you are the best friend of the groom. Can you give us a toast? And that is how Toastmasters came into play.
One day I'm speaking to someone and they told me, I love what you're saying, but it's getting caught up in your pause fillers. Pause fillers are words we use as we think. For example, and you've heard this a lot, many times when you are speaking, I used to think it was really cool. When you're starting to speak, you say, as you were saying, what would happen is I'd have a whole sentence and it was full of, sometimes it's like,
So
I still struggle with so a lot.
All of us need the skill of communication and we need to get better at it. It doesn't happen on its own. So Toastmasters is that simulation that helps us to get better.
Hi there, this is Marvin Dabanji, and welcome to the Unmuted Podcast. Of course, this is a podcast that is brought to you by Toastmasters in Uganda, Burundi, and Rwanda, with the purpose of helping you understand how communication and leadership gained from Toastmasters can help you propel your life both personally and professionally. Of course, I cannot fail to mention we are being hosted at this amazing space, the fourth podcast space, right here at Twine Shots in Makere, Chikoni. So if you'd like to check it out, please come. They are proudly sponsoring this. And with me, I have three amazing people. First, I'll start with Jude Bender. Jude, would you please tell us a bit about yourself? Who is Jude Bender?
Right. Thank you so much, Marvin. And how are you all doing? My name, just like he said, is Jude Bender Matsuko. I am a civil engineer by profession, and I work with the Ministry of Works and Transport as one of the principal engineers in the ministry. And I have vast experience in both infrastructure development and technical audit with over 19 years of experience. Outside my work, outside Toastmasters, I am a happily married man with wonderful children, 5 of them, and a gorgeous, beautiful wife called Lilia. Basically, that is me. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Wow, that's an introduction from Jude. We have Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie.
Hello, my name is Anne-Marie Nachimera. I am a counselor, professionally studied counseling psychology. I help people work through whatever personal challenges they have. Outside of that profession, I also help people write stories. I coach people as they write books, they blog, tell their stories. I help people tell their stories. That's what I do.
Wow, nice one. And then to my immediate left, I have Baron Achola. Baron, please.
Thank you, Marvin. Baron Ochola Oyematum is my name, and I do marketing, communications, and brand management in its entirety. Within the Toastmasters space, I have the pleasure of serving as the division director for Division D, which, as Marvin said, is Rwanda, Burundi, and Uganda. And that is for the next 1 year. So I'm excited for the journey ahead. Thank you so much, Marvin.
And just to emphasize, this podcast is for the purpose of helping you understand how communication can propel your life both personally and professionally. And we go straight into the meat. Jude, if someone hears about Toastmasters, what is it? What should come to their mind?
Well, one thing that might come to their mind is these people are about toasting. Yes, there's some bit of toasting because the way Toastmasters started was through giving toasts on social functions like a wedding, where they invite you and say, you are the best friend of the groom. Can you give us a toast? And that is how Toastmasters came into play. They wanted to be organized, or there should be a way of giving a toast in a professional way. And therefore, there was Toastmasters. But on a larger note, Toastmasters is a very safe space where you can learn communication and leadership skills. If you're someone out there who wants to improve on their communication, leadership, networking, and all that, Toastmasters is a place for you, where we give you a conducive environment, very supportive, and you're in position to develop your communication and leadership skills.
Wow, an amazing explanation. I would like to tap into the leader of Toastmasters Uganda, Burundi, and Rwanda for this calendar year or this year, 2026-2027. Baron, if someone out there asked you what is Toastmasters, what would you tell them?
I would really lean into what Jude shared, a supportive, positive learning environment in which members are empowered to build their communication and their leadership skills. The key word for me there being members. So it's a space where you as an individual come and you want to better your communication, you want to better your leadership, and we provide you with that, let's call it a stimulated environment. It's simulated rather. So it's a simulation where you get the chance to lead in a safe space, you get feedback, you get mentorship, and you get better, you get to grow. And this goes for people of all ages. This goes for people of all religions, all political sects. Really, to say, despite of everything that separates us, all of us need the skill of communication, and we need to get better at it. It doesn't happen on its own. So Toastmasters is that simulation that helps us to get better with that.
Wow, we've started with a gentleman, but we have a lady amongst us. And why did you make the decision to join Toastmasters?
Great. I first heard about Toastmasters when I was working in Nairobi, and it's big in Kenya. I remember speaking to one of my mentors, and I wanted to figure out how to get the passions I have and monetize them. And I gave her so many options, and she told me, "You really like to talk. I suggest you join a Toastmasters club because it will grow your public speaking." I didn't know anything about Toastmasters then. I Googled, joined the meeting, was totally impressed. But I had to come back. When I got back, I tried to look for some, and I forgot about it. One day I'm speaking to someone and they told me, "I love what you're saying, but it's getting caught up in your pause fillers." That night, I remember exactly where I was standing as we had that conversation. That night, she told me, "I'm going to sign you up." So the first part for me was the pause fillers. The second thing, I believed as a good public speaker until someone told me I had too many pause fillers. The second thing was I had had the same group of friends for years. And I was looking for new friends. But the older you get, the harder it gets to make friends. And I started to ask myself, which is a place I could go and make friends. I love personal development. And I felt Toastmasters, everyone in Toastmasters wants to grow. So at least we have something in common. So I joined to remove the pause fillers. That was the final nail. But the original decision had come from a place of I need to meet other people, let people to talk with, and then imagine Toastmasters is about talking, and I love stories. So that was the first thing. Then the issue with pause fillers, being able to communicate well. There's a quote I love, and people keep quoting it back to me, by George Bernard Shaw, that says, "The greatest mistake, the greatest illusion in communication is the thought that it happened."
It has taken place.
And I wanted to communicate well. I didn't want to think I am communicating without communicating. I joined up. That was during COVID 2020. I also really had some free time on me, and I have never left.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. Now, you mentioned something very interesting. You said pause fillers.
Yes.
Now, to the layman or the audience out there may not understand what a pause filler is, would you please be kind to just briefly narrate or tell us what it might be?
Pause fillers are words we use as we think. For example, and you've heard this a lot. Many times when you are speaking, I used to think it was really cool. When you're starting to speak, you say, as you were saying, what would happen is I would have a whole sentence and it was full of, sometimes it's like,
So
I still struggle with so a lot. So Toastmasters taught me how to say what I need to say. And in the process of removing the pause fillers also taught me how to pause and listen to people. Because pause fillers remove the opportunity to actually be heard. So that's the thing I was working through. I'm still working through it. In fact, every Toastmaster meeting, I evaluate how I'm doing with pause fillers because it's really there in the mind. And I had spoken a lot more than I have spoken in Toastmasters by the time I got to Toastmasters. So it has been a journey. But just being able to communicate clearly without irrelevant, in fact, pause fillers are irrelevant words in what you're saying. Words just to fill space, but they do not add anything to what you're saying. That's what pause fillers are.
Wow.
It's Marvin, if I may come in, just to add on what Anne-Marie has said, we normally call them the clutch words. You know, like a clutch that you lean on to support you, especially when you're lost in a conversation and you don't know what you want to say next. Instead of you taking the pause, you fill that gap with a word like, you know, you see,
You understand.
You understand. You end up
Actually.
repeating the same words. So instead of actually filling the pause with some word that is unnecessary, like she said, taking away the meaning of your sentence, take the pause, recollect your thoughts, and mention what you want to say. Instead of filling the pause with some word that is unnecessary, the so-called the pause filler.
Well, just shortly, there are people who are so comfortable with so I have a friend, she never starts a statement without so. Hello, so. Hello, so. So why would one have to deal or get those pause fillers out? Why do they have to get them out?
Yes. Before I answer that question, there are some cases in a sentence where so is important and you have to use it and you can't avoid it. For example, I was going to the university so that I can start my studies on time. The so in between there is important. But there are some places where it is not important. So I will be going to the campus. At the beginning of a sentence, the so is so redundant. It's not adding any meaning, any value to your communication. So the best way is to deal away with it because it takes away the meaning, the information, and exactly what you want to communicate. Wow. And sometimes people feel it is so boring to listen to someone with so many arms, so like, Imagine a whole sentence or conversation is filled with such words. How would you feel at the end of it all? And by the way, when you're not in Toastmasters, it's really cool, like she said. I feel like I am superb, I'm so cool. Not to use the other word, which I want to avoid. Sometimes I say it somewhere where I'm very comfortable, but it really is not good. And that's why the best orators like Barack Obama will communicate without even having a single pause filler, even when he talks for 20, 30 minutes at the end of it all. And you will say that is a good speech.
Yeah. Great orators like Jude Bender as well. Baron Ochola, I'd like to ask you, why did you make the decision to join Toastmasters?
why did I make the decision to join Toastmasters? It's a very long story of how I joined Toastmasters, by the way. First things first, I was not supposed to be in the room. I was there accidentally. I was at the university and Toastmasters had come to do an outreach to train the incoming leadership at the university at the time. So the leaders were going to have special seats. We needed some other people who understood leadership enough to be organized in this space, to come and pass books around, carry the speaker, carry the keynote speaker's book. And that's exactly what I was doing in the room. This was in 2021. So that's what I was doing in the room. About 65 of us in that room, and only I joined Toastmasters after that. I heard what they said. I was hungry, first off, for personal development, like Anne-Marie had said. I was extremely hungry for personal development, and I was looking for space. At that point, I was with the Africa Youth Leadership Forum, which is an amazing space that mentors young leaders. So I was interested in spaces of the like. I'd been told Toastmasters is this place that has people who meet. It's like Rotary, but they meet to speak. They do. So I need to find out for myself. So when I was in that room, one of my mentors in that space, who is Dr. Kristen Nabeyo, whom you definitely know, she identified me from how conscientiously I was doing things and said, hey, if you join this space, in 6 months, you will not recognize yourself. 5 years later, I am still in this space and I have the privilege of serving as the division director for Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. So I was hungry. There's a soul here. I was we all fall on the side sometimes. I was hungry for that growth. And I think I found the space at the right time. So the space mentored me. I started attending meetings. The lockdown was an unfortunate thing. For me, logistically, it was a fortunate one. Because I went online. You know, you're in university, you don't have money to attend meetings, the transport and everything. Lockdown came, everybody goes online. And for 8 months, I attended about 3 to 5 meetings every day all over the world. By the time the 8 months were done, I was up there with it. I was speaking so eloquently. I was managing meetings online very well. And I had networks all over the world of public speakers. So that's what Toastmasters did for me. That's why I joined and that's how I joined.
Wow. We shall get to now the question of young people getting into communication a bit. But now as we go to Anne, why is it important for one to work on their ability to communicate effectively?
I feel leadership is communication. Many times, and by leadership, I don't mean company leadership. So yes, there is company leadership. But I've found, and the advantage of being in Toastmasters for a while, you hear many things people have learned. My first year in Toastmasters, one of the people that stood out so clearly for me was someone who shared something they learned, and it wasn't even about work. It was about, she's married. It was about home. How Toastmasters helped her grow as a wife. And the thing she mentioned, the thing she mentioned is why communication is important. One of the things we do during the meetings is give feedback. And that has been my greatest growth area. I didn't know when I joined Toastmasters. I didn't know about that at all. I thought you come, you say what you need to say, people take it or leave it. Toastmasters taught me the fact that communication is about the other person. It's not about you.
It's not about you. Yeah, true.
And that has grown me, one, as a counselor, so that as I listen to clients, it's not about me. It's about them. When we walk out, it's not about how I feel, it's about them. But the second thing that lady shared, she mentioned that she learned how to articulate what her needs are in her marriage, and she learned how to give her husband better feedback. I cannot forget. I remember thinking, I didn't know that this could happen. I have seen myself grow because communication is just not talking. It's listening, which we also learn in Toastmasters. It's listening. It's saying the right thing at the right time, saying the right thing in the right audience. And so I feel it's important for everyone to learn.
Wow.
Because communication, in fact, when we go back to English, I really like to say this. Communication is decoding and it's the giving and receiving, of messages.
And then there has to be the feedback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's that, me talking to you is not enough. You responding is as important for communication to be complete. Before Toastmasters, I would get into a space, say what I need to say. Even when I was on management team in some places, you tell people what you want to say and move on. But because you haven't received the message, you have an illusion that you communicated. And so I believe everyone needs to grow in how they communicate with their family, with the people they work with, whether you're a business owner. I remember a mother who joined, a businesswoman and a mother who joined Mienga Toastmasters Club because her sort of business is she sells clothes downtown. I was intrigued because you'd think, why do you need to know public speaking when your primary language of trade is not even English and you're in a meeting for English? And she told me, I am a mother of girls only. I want my daughters to know how to communicate and learn that they can walk into any space. I got the privilege of meeting the daughters. I was so impressed by the articulation, the confidence, because that's another thing you learn. And she told me, that's the only reason I'm here. Because I want my children to be better than me. I want them to see me communicate and aspire to be better people. That's why I think everyone needs communication.
What other convincing do you need? We move to Jude. She has talked about something quite important in there. She talks about giving feedback. And I believe in Toastmasters, we are taught how to give feedback.
Yep.
Jude, why is it important to give feedback? First of all, explain to us the feedback structure in Toastmasters and how impactful it is in the workplace between relationships, supervisors and juniors, leaders and followers. Please.
All right. Thank you so much once again, Marvin. Feedback. A wife giving feedback to her husband.
That's Toastmasters.
Whether the husband was able to give feedback, but I'll say something towards the end about that. Well, in Toastmasters, we have what we call the sandwich method of giving feedback. Now, what is sandwich method? If you're out there, I'm very sure you have eaten a sandwich. It means that you have the meat in between and the bread on top and another piece of bread at the bottom. Meaning that while you're giving feedback to someone, you have to commend them for the good things that they have done. Later on in the middle, you talk about areas of improvement. We don't want to say mistakes or where they have done poorly. We are saying areas of improvement and conclude with a wrap or a summary of the things that they did better. At the end of it all, the recommendations or the areas of improvement are in between. At the end of it all, the person that you're giving feedback to goes away very confident, not thinking that they have really hit me on my head, but they have given me areas where I've excelled, areas where I need to improve, and even encouraging me to do better next time I come on stage.
Wow.
And this cuts across, doesn't stop in the boardroom, doesn't stop in a Toastmasters meeting. It goes at home, just like she said, the wife was giving feedback to the husband. Now, for us who are married, we need to learn how to give feedback to our wives, especially when they have come out of the saloon and they want to commend them how they look. Otherwise, if you miss That night you may sleep hungry. In both aspects, I'm talking about hunger here. Now, Baron is not listening. Baron is not listening. Yeah, so I have also been chanced to apply the sandwich method at my workplace. And wow, I have witnessed tremendous growth in some of my team members. As a person, I have grown, but my teams have also grown because of the way I was giving them feedback. You know, every 6 months before I left Uganda National Authority to Ministry of Works, we used to have appraisals every 6 months. Now, there are those feedback sessions that you hold every quarter with your supervisor and your supervisees. But how do you issue your appraising or your recommendation to your supervisee? So there were 2 people in my team, and when I joined, they were the happiest because of the way I offered feedback to them. I may say at the time I joined, they almost felt like leaving the organization because of the way they were being treated, giving feedback. You're not good at that. You cannot amount to anything. And all that was really taking a toll on them. When I came on, I asked for 6 months. 6 months. Let me supervise these people.
For 6 months.
For 6 months. If within 6 months, they have not improved, they have not changed, we can put them on PIP. PIP is Performance Improvement Program, meaning this person is performing so badly that they need now to put him on an improvement program,
for them
so that they can really catch up. And my supervisor at that time was kind enough to allow me. After 1 quarter, which is 3 months, there was tremendous growth. These are people who used now to come to office very early, finish their tasks within no record, and at the end of it all, they left satisfied. These are people who used to review about 20 payments, but at the end of the quarter, they were reviewing over 200 payments. Almost the reviews that you need the entire year, but they were doing them now in 1 quarter.
Wow.
How did it happen? This is how I did it. I borrowed the same approach of feedback. I told them, you know what, my friend, you're so good at this. First of all, you're a good timekeeper. So let's utilize your early coming to office, finish our tasks, and go back. By the way, you even went to Woodoo, King's College Woodoo. I wish I went to King's College Woodoo. I didn't, but for you are lucky. Your parents took. So you have a very good network. Utilize it. If you don't understand anything, call. And the good thing in our organization, we had quite a number of people from the same school. So he found some kind of comfort in them, asking them, how can I do this? How can I do that better? And also I told him, by the way, I know you're a father. I'm also a father. So let us always come very early, do our work, finish it. By 3, if you tell me I want to go and pick my children from school, we will accept. And let me tell you, the man really worked and improved. At the end of the year, this gentleman became the outstanding employer of the year in our directorate.
Wow.
Because of just the power of feedback.
Amazing.
So that's how important it is to give feedback.
You can imagine someone coming from PIP,
Yes.
which is more or less like the ICU for someone who's failing to perform. And then in 1 year, them being awarded the accolade of being the most outstanding employee of the year. Amazing what feedback can do. And then, Baron, I want to ask you, right now we have very many young people who are going out of university, they're going out, they're looking for work, they are looking for jobs. How important is communicating effectively, helping them or could help them attract those opportunities or create opportunities for themselves out in the marketplace?
Thank you, Marvin. how important communicating effectively is. And I like that you said communicating effectively, because the entire point of what we do in Toastmasters is to learn how to communicate effectively. The point is not just to communicate, it's effectively, such that instead of saying 100 words, I could sum it up in 10, perhaps with an analogy, with a better frame, with a prop, with a different way of doing it. I just want to expand it a bit from communicating effectively to add on the two other elements that you get in Toastmasters, which is the leadership development and the networking, because we're talking about young people here. So to start with communicating effectively, I have gone to interviews, and I can honestly say the interview was so much fun for me and the people interviewing me. It was so much, we laughed, we cracked jokes, because we felt at home, because when they saw me communicating, I was confident and I wasn't nervous, because when you are nervous, the person on the other side gets nervous for you. So it was a very comfortable conversation. That is very important, especially for young people who have to do interviews. Secondly, still on communication, when you're meeting people in a room, how do you stand out? Your confidence from your communication, how you present yourself, it all shows as you communicate, and that makes you stand out. When we talk about leadership development, people are not going to give you a task to do if they don't already know that you can do it. So these spaces give you two things. One, the opportunity to learn how to do these things, learn how to manage people. When I say manage, I really mean work with people, right? The emotional intelligence of it, communicating tasks, communicating the vision, follow up, realizing that you're leading people and you're not leading zombies. So they have emotions, right? They're real human beings. They have real lives. That is very important. The second aspect of the leadership, beyond you learning how to do it, is it gives you a space for you to be noticed for your works, for your actions. People get to see that you're doing this and they notice. Then thirdly, on the networking aspect, we've had all the panelists, the speakers we have here, sharing their credentials. Toastmasters, for example, has community clubs and corporate clubs. Now, if I'm to just name drop for a second, the most recent club to charter is Bank of Uganda, which is Pillar Toastmasters Club. We have Unok Toastmasters Club, Centenary Bank, ABSA, UBL, to mention but a few. EcoBank, so many companies who believe in the program and they are using it to improve their employees, to build their employees, their staff. Where would I get to network with them from, right? Even the community clubs, we have Muyenga, Bugolobi, Bukoto, Exceed, Luhoa, Entebbe, and all these. Where would I get to meet all these fantastic individuals who are invested in their personal development enough to join Toastmasters? That's what is in it for young people.
Yeah, and exactly. You know, when you have the opportunity to meet all these people, of course, your scope of getting a job or getting employment or getting a work opportunity or a business opportunity becomes even wider.
Can I just share something that stands out for me? Jobs are good. One of the main reasons I stayed was actually mentorship. I was shocked by the caliber of people who were willing to help me grow. I remember I took up leadership a few months after I joined, and I would get onto Zoom calls with judges in other countries.
Wow.
Because they had me in a meeting, they thought there's something I needed to learn, and they were willing to get onto a Zoom call to help me sort that. Over the years, I've met people that I would never, with whatever sort of connections, they are not people I would be able to ask to mentor me for free. Because most Toastmasters are so eager to help you.
Yes.
At first, it was so scary. I'm thinking, why are these people nice? What do they want? I have had an opportunity. I keep joking that I'm amazing at using Zoom. The reason is, the first time I tried to manage an online meeting during COVID, I had no idea what I was doing. I had a 4 a.m. meeting, and one of the people on the call had me mention, you know how you see someone do something, then you say, how did you do that? And they said, what's the problem? I said, I have a meeting I need to manage, but I don't know how to do this. They said, that's fine. What time is your meeting? I told them it starts at 4:30 a.m. They told me it's okay. Can we log on to Zoom at 4 a.m.? I help you figure it out just before your meeting so that you are good in your meeting. This person didn't need to wake up early morning. Their mother, they have to drop children, they have work. I remember being amazed at that level of support. And I've been on calls with people from other countries in the middle of the night, solving a problem that has nothing to do with Toastmasters. It could be in Excel, like totally solving another problem, because you have all sorts of professions around you. So while you could get a job, I've also found it's a space that offers you mentorship. In fact, Engineer Jude here is very good at mentoring people.
Wow.
People are eager to support you because we all want to grow. People are eager to say, let's work together. I've known people who are going for interviews and someone says, let's go through this together. Let's practice for that interview together. So apart from, to add on to what Baron has mentioned, I have found it's a great place for finding mentors in almost any field.
Wow.
Because I've had conversations. Sometimes I'm in shock at the people I'm talking to because I'm thinking, never in my wildest dreams did I think I would either share a stage, because I've had an opportunity to share a stage on the East African platform with some of these people, or even a drink, eat with them on the same table and ask questions. Because there are people that you will not find on a border or public transport to say hi to, or where they spend their time is not where you spend your time.
Wow.
So, yeah.
One of the things that I've learned in Toastmasters is the art of listening. Jude, I want to ask you, how does Toastmasters make you a better listener?
Thank you so much. It is always good to listen before you can communicate. And it is also advised that always communicate with the intention of being heard or listened to. And for you to be listened to, you should be in position to humble yourself, communicate, and wait for the feedback. Now, in Toastmasters, there are so many ways that you can enhance your listening skills. For example, in a normal Toastmasters meeting, we have different roles that you take on that can enhance your listening skills. For example, the clutch fillers or the clutch words that Anne-Maria was talking about, being an counter in the meeting, meaning you have to really put on your good listening ears so that you can catch or listen to or hear people using clutch words. And that is one way of improving your listening skills. The other role that you can also take on, which is very important, and that is the role of giving feedback. Taking on the role of an evaluator. Meaning, for you to give feedback to someone, you first have to listen to them.
Yeah.
What do they have to say? What is their side of the story? And at the end of it all, you're able to pick up areas that they have done well, areas they need to improve, and summarize it all. So it helps in one way of listening when you become an evaluator. And we normally say in Toastmasters that we listen to the speaker's speech 2 times. One, when he or she is on the stage speaking, and the second time when the evaluator is giving feedback, because that is when the person gives out nuggets of the speech or some reels of the speech that the person gave while they were on stage. That is one way of enhancing your listening skills. The other one is being a grammarian. By being a grammarian, I mean you're listening to people's grammar. You're not policing. Sometimes we say policing the English or the King's language. and making sure that you introduce a new word of the day, what we call it a word of the day, yes, but in a way it is to improve your vocabulary. Meaning if you're to listen to wrong grammar, good quotes, good sayings and citations, you should be in position to listen and listen carefully to what the people were saying in the meeting. So that in one way helps you to become a great listener. By the way, the greatest speaker or the greatest orator is not the one who speaks, but the person who listens and listens well and implements what they have heard.
Wow. Amazing. The greatest orator is not the one who speaks, but the one who listens and listens well. Anne-Marie, we have something called impromptu speaking. I had to bring that up. Now, we have so many people who have had an opportunity, and I normally say that the reason that's why we have impromptu speaking is to perfect that art of speaking off the cuff, or someone has just literally asked you, you've not prepared. How does impromptu speaking help someone articulate themselves better, even if they have not prepared?
Great. There is another quote I love. As you can tell, I love quotes. I'm trying to remember who said it, and I can't, but I know it says the best speaker is the one who practices what they will say. The best speech is one that's practiced. Many times we think that if it's impromptu, and what is impromptu speech? You are sitting in a meeting and someone says, Marvin, what do you think? When you walked into that speech, into that room, you did not sit at home and say, I have a feeling I'll be asked what to say. So let me prepare a speech. No. You walked in, they asked you. In order for you to be able to communicate, because in Toastmasters, impromptu speaking, which we call table topics, is 1 to 2 minutes long. And the assumption and the requirement during impromptu speaking is you will have a proper speech with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. What that means, it's training me to be able to speak anywhere. In fact, many times we talk about elevator pitches, and we practice elevator pitches for 30 seconds. What you sometimes have felt happens is you have this thing where you are selling a product, but you are not easing and allowing the other person to lean in and want to listen. So the Toastmaster segment for impromptu speaking helps us practice, because no one walks in knowing what the question is. You are asked a question and you're supposed to give a speech for 1 to 2 minutes. Before Toastmasters, I used to think 1 minute is a long time, is a short time, until I was given an impromptu speech. Because we use timer cards and the card comes up at 1 minute, meaning now you have used the minimum time you could use. I spoke. The card wasn't coming up. I wondered, is the timer's clock working? I think I used maybe 1 minute and a few seconds. And that's when I realized 1 minute is a long time. Meaning even the elevator pitch for 30 seconds is actually a long time. It is so much better when you practice. So with impromptu speaking, and I love the fact that most meetings have it, with impromptu speaking, it sharpens my skill to think quickly. I was part of the team in my club when I joined. I competed in that contest, the table topics contest. And I remember being very scared, because you're walking into a contest and you don't know what the speech is about. Because you see, these other contests, for example, international, you prepare your 5 to 7 minute speech. But impromptu speaking meant I'm getting into a contest and someone will ask me to give a speech on something they know about and I don't know. I spent lots of time preparing. And as I was reading about it, they say the best way to give impromptu speaking is to prepare beforehand. And I kept wondering, how do you prepare for what you don't know? And I said things like what we do in Toastmasters. Put up your hand to answer a question you don't know. Read a lot more. Get to know current news, which I feel translates into the everyday scenario. When you're at work and someone says, what do you think? It's so much better when you already have all this information floating around in your brain, and the only goal is to bring it down to 1 to 2 minutes. So that's a key aspect. I look forward to it. I used to dodge it. And the advantage is I joined when we are online mainly. I used to laugh when we get into impromptu speaking. All of a sudden, everyone's mic doesn't work and everyone's internet has a problem. And recently, my joke is you start so that when people say, "What are you saying? We can't hear you," so that you dodge that segment. And it's just fear, the fear of the unknown. Toastmasters has taught me that wherever I am, whatever question I'm asked, you pause briefly so that you don't start with the pause feel of You pause maybe 30 seconds, compose your thoughts, start with an introduction, which could be what they asked. If you're in a meeting and someone was talking about something, you could say, when Baron said that, you're introducing the topic, give your opinion in a short period of time, 30 seconds, and then conclude with your takeaway, something you will do as a result, something you want other people to do as a result. That has helped me sharpen how I communicate. I didn't know I needed to know, but knowing that I can say what I need to say in 1 minute changed how I view every opportunity to speak. Every.
Wow. You have mentioned something quite interesting in there, fear. Now, Baron, you know, we term it as glossophobia.
Yes.
Many people dread speaking. In fact, in the book, Chris Anderson, he says that the fear of public speaking is the highest of fears in the world. People fear public speaking more than snakes and lions. Baron, how does Toastmasters help one deal with the fear of speaking in public?
Now, this is a quote that Toastmasters use a lot, but I'm not sure. I believe you would know who it's attributed to. Is it the feel the fear and do it anyway?
That's a number of people.
The other one is about feedback being breakfast for champions.
Ken Blackard.
Yes, Ken Blackard. But feel the fear and do it anyway is the quote that Toastmasters usually use about this to encourage people. And how Toastmasters helps you deal with the fear of public speaking is, one, I also have a personal quote I like to use. Kobe Bryant said, "When I get nervous on the pitch, it's a sign to me that I wasn't as prepared as I needed to be." So when you get nervous, you didn't prepare enough. And the preparation looks like this. You stand up and you speak. Whenever there's an opportunity, you stand up and you speak. The more you expose yourself to that situation, the more you get confident in that situation, the more you also figure out what works and doesn't work, as well as the fact that people can now point out and say, you know, when I give feedback, I like to say, I'm only giving you this feedback because I feel you deserve it. And why I feel that people deserve it is they have taken that move. They have jumped to face the fear. Now that they have jumped to face the fear, they have jumped to the stage. They deserve the feedback. So when you start to jump to that stage to say, I want to speak, somebody can now have some information to work with to tell you, hey, next time you're doing that, this is how you do it. If you want to face that fear, perhaps you're delivering a speech, look at the mirror and deliver to it so that you know what you look like. Talk to your friends. Or if it's about time, record yourself so that you know just how much time you're going to use, so that those small things, you stop being apprehensive about them. So it's about dealing with those fears in the smallest way. And really to add on, Jerry Seinfeld is the one who said, when most people, because glossophobia, the fear of public speaking, is faced by 85% of the population, which means out of 100 people, 85% of them are afraid of public speaking. Then to take it a step further, the fear of heights is the number one fear, right? And then the fear of death is number 6 or 5. The fear of public speaking is number 2. So people fear death more than public speaking.
Public speaking more than death.
People fear public speaking more than death. And that is now the Jerry Seinfeld quote where he said, most people, when they go to a funeral and they are dealt with 2 options. One, There is the casket, jump in it, today is your day. And there is the podium, deliver the eulogy. Most people are jumping in the casket because they are more afraid of public speaking than death.
They will die anyway.
I feel sometimes just decide and say, guys, it's been a good run. Today is my day.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be that way. The only thing about it is, the same way you cannot learn how to swim by reading a book, it's the same way you can't learn how to speak by reading about it. It will give you a bit of information, but you can't face the fear through that, as well as just attending a meeting to watch people speak. You actually have to step to the stage, and that is how you learn how to speak and do away with the fear.
Do the
Face the
nerves?
fear.
Do the nerves ever go away?
No. No.
Actually, can I just say something in relation to that? First, the nerves never go away.
Yeah.
I hoped that it would.
Oh, we needed to just specify that because some people may say
Yes,
fear
some people
and nerves,
think that just
the-
because you have
the
nerves,
yeah.
it means either you didn't prepare or
Yeah.
the nerves never go away. In fact, I'm worried when I don't have nerves
Yeah.
because that means I have a self-confidence that will make me say irrelevant things.
False confidence.
Yes, false confidence. Because the nerves mean I care. I care enough about what I'm going to say that I feel something
Must
about
be
it.
good. Yeah.
I must communicate. If I have no nerves, it means I'm going to just run my mouth.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about. So one of the projects, as you go through Toastmasters, we use a program called Pathways that helps you prepare speeches. So you just don't come and just talk. You're growing towards a certain thing. One of the projects I love the most, I feel deals with one of those things. It's called Understanding Your Communication Style. When I joined Toastmasters, I remember I was intense at the beginning. I would record myself giving my speech before I give my speech. Okay, to help me time, but to also see the way I look as I speak. Up to now, I can imagine how my family felt for my icebreaker because I've ever had someone record the same thing over and over again. And then, because I had a view of what I thought communicators should sound like, then I did that project and found out my natural communication style. I have never looked back since then.
Wow. What is it?
I lean into storytelling.
Wow.
If you notice, if you have heard me speak, there's always a story somewhere. And it's so weird because I was always like that. But because I wanted to sound intelligent, I wanted people to like me, I tried all these things. I would try numbers, and then I wouldn't enjoy the speaking. But I hoped people thought I was brilliant. I tried all those other things.
Wow.
Through the feedback I used to receive every time I gave a speech and that project, I learned that is the thing I, for lack of a better way to put it, bring to the table. I started to grow in that. In fact, when people were giving me feedback, I was listening for feedback to do with the way I naturally communicate. Because the goal was for me to communicate in a way for other people to understand, for the communication to happen. Not for me to appear intelligent, not for me to be better than other people, no. It was for the communication to be received.
You don't want to be like Andrew Mwenda.
So when you talk about fear, I've realized that because I know that when I walk into a space and I do not know what I'm going to talk about, as soon as I get the first story I can tell, the fear goes down. Because then I can anchor everything I want to say
On that story.
Because that is my style. I know people whose style is statistics and numbers. And before they say anything, they are there looking at all statistics.
We feel accused.
And immediately they find that first statistic. It reduces the fear of having to talk about that thing. So the space has helped me know, one, we are different. Two, we have something special that we bring, and it helps the world for us to grow that thing that's special about us.
Wow. I feel like you're speaking into logos, ethos, and pathos also in a way. I will
Okay.
leave it there.
Yes, a couple of things that now we need to get into. One, I would really love us to have a conclusion and tell the people our final parting shots. Of course, there's a lot we can dive into, but I would love us to leave the audience with something to take home. Jude, I'm going to start with you. What is your final parting shot to someone out there who's hesitating on one, working on their communication, or who's also hesitating on joining Toastmasters? Two things. There are some people who can access Toastmasters. There are those who can't access Toastmasters, but they need the communication skill. So kindly.
Right. Thank you so much. There's one of the greatest authors, I think he's called Kakoa, who said that no matter how brilliant you are, no matter great ideas you have, as long as you cannot communicate them across to the people that need it, they are as good as nothing. So the best thing for you is to join Toastmasters and improve on your communication. And I want to tell you that Toastmasters, communication, networking, and leadership is not for people that have gone to Voodoo, they have gone to St. Mary's, they have not, it is for everyone. And I want to conclude by saying and quoting one of my favorite authors, Zig Ziglar, which says that you do not have to be great for you to start, but for you to be great, you have to start. You want to improve on your communication, you want to work on your networking, you want to improve on your leadership skills, join Toastmasters today. And there is going to be a very huge difference between you today and you tomorrow.
Wow. Yes, Anne-Marie?
One of my biggest wins in Toastmasters has actually not even been communication. It has been leadership growth. Toastmasters is a safe and supportive environment. It's the one place I found where I can fail and people help me get up. I have tried so many things with leadership and communication in Toastmasters because I knew I'd get feedback that would help me be better. If you want to grow in any way, because I've grown in many ways, even in dealing with volunteers, because Toastmasters, we all volunteer. No one is paid.
No one is
in
paid.
fact, we pay to serve.
Yes.
If you want to grow as a leader, as a communicator, as a human being, I've found that it's a great space to stretch your perception. Try out that thing you want to do at work. You'll have a focus group to give you feedback on how to do that. I've seen people give their speeches before a big meeting and get feedback from there. So my encouragement is for you to join. And when you join, because sometimes you get into our meetings and it can get a bit overwhelming when you're new.
True.
When you join, lean in. Lean in and allow people to speak into your life. Allow people to mentor you. Allow people to work with you because they want to. They just need permission for you to do that. And you will grow, in Baron's words, in ways you cannot recognize yourself. I wish I had joined way earlier.
Wow.
I would have been a better leader than I am today.
Wow.
But I'm grateful for the opportunity of growth over the years.
Wow. She wishes she had joined earlier. Baron, you joined early enough.
But
Give us
how
a
old do you
particular-
think I am also?
Please take it on.
First off, both Engineer Jude and Anne-Marie are tough acts to follow. So I'll start with that. Now, I'm going to try and lean into a couple of concepts. One is one I spoke of last week at a Rotary meeting, which is the law of the lead. Engineer Jude and Anne-Marie as well are very big fans, and yourself as well, very big fans of John Maxwell.
Yeah.
And in the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, law number 1, the law of the lead, you cannot be more successful than your leadership abilities. There is a lead on how successful you will be on the basis of how you lead. So when you get into this space, you benefit from that. The second one is in the 7 habits of highly effective people. The first 3 habits are clustered as private victories. The second 3, the next batch from 4, 5, 6 are clustered as public victories. And then there's the one of rejuvenating yourself, which goes to say you cannot get public victories before private victories. And you're not going to work on private victories in the confines of your house or in your mind, right? You need to journal. Take it a step further. Join a space where there are like-minded people who are growing and building themselves. That is the way to go. Now, as a reminder, we have Toastmasters in communities, community clubs. We have Toastmasters in corporate organizations. So you can have for the organizations. We also have training programs where an organization can say for the next 2 months, the next 3 months, we want you to train our employees such that they are more confident, such that they have better customer service, such that they are better leaders. Because the law of the lead does not only apply to individuals, it applies to organizations as well. If your staff are not well equipped in leadership, you cannot succeed beyond that.
Very true. Wow, well put and amazing. This podcast has been hosted by, of course, myself, Marvin Dabanji, a very proud Toastmaster. And what a way to close it with these amazing people. We've had Jude, we've had Anne, and we've had Baron. Now, they say knowledge in itself is not power, but it's what you do with the knowledge. So with whatever thing you have heard here, what are you going to do about it? That's the question I leave with you. See you in the next one. Cheers.